Hey.
Like the other day, I was taking stuff out of my car, and I was like, "How come all four just get out of the car and walk to the house?" And I was full of stuff.
Yeah,
I was like,
most
how
definitely.
come I have 4 children and none of you are stopping?
Nobody's helping.
Nobody is helping mom.
Come on, we gotta help mom now. Come on, kids.
But anyway, so here's my 2 cents as far how to pick a good home.
Okay.
Hi everybody, welcome to Let's Keep It Real. Now here is another episode. Hi my friend.
How we doing? How we
Good.
doing?
Long time no see.
I know, huh?
Uh-huh.
We're here.
Yes.
Let's get it started.
Happy African American History Month. Yeah, I got a t-shirt. What y'all think? Yeah. Well, I know
That's
it's
a nice
Africa,
t-shirt.
but, yeah.
And it's representing all of Africa too. So
Yeah.
most definitely happy Black History Month to all.
Yeah, and I'm African American now, so
Yeah.
I married one. I have 4 at home.
There you go.
Here we go.
There
I'm
you
part
go.
of it. I'm part of it. I'm loving it.
We're gonna keep the legacy going.
Yes, we're going to keep it. So today episode, what we're going to learn, guys, is something important, right? We talk about real estate. The goal is to learn how to pick a good home. Let's try not to pick a lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would definitely be a good decision to pick a good home because you're going to be living there for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you were shopping for your home, what some of the things you were looking for?
Trees.
Trees?
I love trees.
You love trees?
I love trees. So I'm surrounded by a lot of pine trees. Good foundation. I call it like a tree house. It's like it's
So you have a big old tree in your backyard?
I have a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So basically, my street is called Limber Pine Place. Yeah. So,
That sounds very exotic.
Yeah. So like we just go out there. You get to feel the wind. The only problem is a lot of leaves. So when spring is about to roll around, we're out there.
That's why you have kids.
Well, one son, 18, but you know. He works a lot.
The other one too. They need to start
Twins,
early. You're out there. Get the stuff and work.
They're getting away. They're getting away. I had my son come out and help me before, but I told him just go in the house.
Just tell them I can't wait for my kids to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
They're gonna be working.
They're gonna be working.
I have 4 of them. I give birth to 4.
Hey.
Like the other day, I was taking stuff out of my car, and I was like, "How come all 4 just get out of the car and walk to the house?" And I was full of stuff.
Yeah,
I was like,
most
how
definitely.
come I have 4 children and none of you are stopping?
Nobody's helping.
Nobody is helping mom.
Come on, we gotta help mom now. Come on, kids.
But anyway, so here's my 2 cents as far how to pick a good home.
Okay.
One of the first things everybody needs to pay attention is sign of buy flip. You know, sometimes we go look at houses with buyers, and the house looks so gorgeous, so glamorous. You know, you have all the new stuff, maybe quartz countertop, the bathroom looks all that, but check the finishes.
Yeah.
Check the finishes.
Yeah.
Really pay attention to how these people build. You open a drawer, but the way it's too close to the wall. You can't. You know what I mean? You open you have some cabinet. It's not functional. It's very nice and cute, and you know, just like just some people you see. You go to the club and you meet this guy. You look all bust up, and just like Alex right now, he's trying to buff up, right? It looks all good and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you scratch the surface, it's just like, what is that? You know?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with a house. Pay attention to bad flips. Some property are just out there, some investor, they just come and buy the property, fix it, don't pay attention to the detail. They just fix the exterior, they don't pay attention behind the wall. You know, so that's why, and then you move in and you have plumbing issue, electrical issue. Sometimes, I don't know, you may have some termite behind it, you know.
Yeah.
The flipper just want to go and do quick money and then you don't pay attention. So that's why doing a home inspection
it's important.
is very important.
Very important.
You know, yeah. So pay attention to workmanship and all the details. Don't just look at the house because it's beautiful, but really walk through it. Even before wasting the money with inspection, just when you walk into it, look at the way the roof look from the outside. You know, look at the way doors are open or closed and stuff like that. Another things that I like to pay attention is the location.
Okay. Location is big.
Location is big. It will make the difference, especially when you try to resell it, right? So as for location, you need to make sure, first, make sure it fits your lifestyle. If you work downtown, and you have to commute every single day, and you decide to buy a home, let's say, for example, in Fulshire, and you hate driving, maybe Fulshire is not the place for you to buy a home.
Exactly.
Because when you're on I-10, and Katy area is full of people. Everybody wants to live in Katy because it's a great city to be in.
Yeah.
The problem is that causes traffic. So now if you live further away with all this new construction and you have to commute to downtown, just know now it will take you, even the easy tax section is always full in the morning. It takes you over an hour to get to work. Is that the life? Is it the quality of life?
Nah.
Not necessarily.
Not at all.
And also some location, you just pay attention. Is it close to, is it in the flooding zone?
Yeah.
That's
huge.
When you get a home in a flooding zone, what happened? Your lender, you know that, right?
Yeah, you got to get flood insurance.
Flood insurance.
Yeah, mandatory. Mandatory. And depending upon how many times that area has been hit, your premium can be skyrocket high. So
yeah, I saw some flood insurance like $3,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it all depends. And it's good to talk to the neighbors too.
Yep.
Talk to the neighbors in the neighborhood surrounding the home that you're looking at, and just ask some particular questions as far as, how the weather's been, type of things that they've been going through in that neighborhood. Those would be some good questions to ask.
Yeah, and sometimes you can learn some stuff. Like one time a client was looking for a house, and then we got into the neighborhood. I was waiting on them, and I started talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor told me that somebody has died in that house.
Oh, I remember you told me about that. Yeah.
Somebody has died in that house, and this kind of stuff you want to know. But if the person died in the house, but natural causes, the seller do not have to tell you. It's personal businesses, natural cause. Somebody, a mother or dad, somebody just died in the house, natural cause, they don't have to tell you. But if it's violent death or a death due to accident, maybe they slide on the stairs as they were going down because whatever happened, the stair were not done right, it has to be reported. Everybody needs to know about it. If somebody got murdered inside, you have to know. Right. Okay. So sometimes some seller they don't always know, or sometimes they lie. They don't disclose it. Right. So it's always good when you come to a neighborhood, just go ahead and ask questions to the neighbor what they think about the neighborhood. Yeah. And as for location, you also need to pay attention to schools.
Big thing, schools. Okay. So if you're looking to have, you have children, you're looking to have children, you want to see what the school districts are like and what type of education your kids are going to be able to get.
Yeah. As a realtor, we're not supposed to tell you this is good school, this is bad school, stuff like that, right? Don't ask your realtor. It's illegal. We're not supposed to steer you away from a specific area because of schools. But what you could do, use an association or realtor, you have a section for school, you can always go and look the information yourself. It's available. Right. If a client asks me for schools, the name of the school, specific area, whatever, or I'll just give them the general information. But I'm not going to tell you do not live in this neighborhood because the schools are bad. I can't do that. I can lose my license for that or get punished, whatever. But check the school. And what I realize oftentimes a good indication for a neighborhood that may be good as far, I'm not predicting the future, guys. This is my 2 cents, right? I realize elementary school is usually attached to the subdivision when you're at, and it also help you to kind of have an idea if the neighbor could be good. And because a lot of people search home because of school. Exactly. They'll be willing to pay a little bit more because their kids will go to a good public school. Exactly. Right? And that's very important. So check the schools around it and see if it's an A, B, C, D, K, W. I don't know how you. I'm just talking. No, I got you. Just check that's a good indication. Also, drive in the evening. Yeah. At night, see how the
see how the movement is.
Yeah. What I realize, oftentimes for people that buy a luxury home, they like to look at the house during the day, but they also like to come back in the evening and really have a feel because most of the time we spend time in a home in the evening, right? So you want to see how the light is hitting the house. How how the moon is, if you believe all the stuff like that. And then you want to see how the neighbors are, do you see a lot of older family members walking around, dogs, or is it noisy? Is it close to a club or nightclub, stuff like that?
Train tracks.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to be. That's where you're going to sleep at night. So the location is very, very important. It can make it or break it. Also, how you sell the home in the future. And then when you buy a house with location, and Houston, we're prone to flood a lot. We just talked about it a little bit earlier. Also, pay attention if there is any reservoir next to it. Because 2015, ugh.
Yeah.
We
Memorial
felt
area.
it in Texas,
No,
in Houston.
most definitely.
Yeah, they have to release the reservoir to avoid more damage to the city, and a lot of homes next to it,
They all flooded out.
they're flooded. Yeah. And then for those that flooded, some section in Katy, for example, they flooded some section. The owner sued, and they won. And some other section they got flooded, they lost.
They lost.
So I don't know if they're being paid or not, but I know some people sue in some area win. So really pay attention. And sometimes in a fine teeny print, they let you know you're sitting next to a reservoir, and then you have risk of being flooded. You know. So and remember in Houston area, because it's a bayou city, a lot of area they have to move the water the way the path of the water were going to accommodate human living, you know.
Okay.
And then so remember, nature is always stronger than us. Always. So if you have the opportunity to maybe check all the information with the city, how the city used to sit or the street used to sit in the past, you will know if you sit on a path, in an older pathway or not. Now technology, civil engineer, they're doing a great job, but it's always good to know. Just have some information about how your homes sit in the community, you know.
Most definitely.
And yeah, it's very, very important. And then when you buy a house, for example, that was flooded in the past and it's in a flooded zone, it will take you a little longer not all of them, but a lot of them, it takes a little bit longer to move. And a lot of people, if they cannot afford the flood insurance, can be a very bad issue for them.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so location is very important.
Yeah.
What's the whole other things you think people should check on their home?
I mean,
before
foundation.
pulling the trigger. Foundation. Yeah.
You want to look at foundation. You want to make sure that there's not, a lot of cracks that are going on in the house within the walls, close to the roof. If you do see that, I would advise you to go ahead and get a foundation inspection done on the property as well, because you don't want those things to catch up to you in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes when if you're a buyer and you're walking in the house, try to have a feel for the floor. The floor indicates me, but I wear heels, and then some houses I have to take off my shoes to walk in there, and then you feel if it's sloping, some area you feel it. You open and close door.
They can't
close.
Know,
you will know if it's very hard. You will know the door is not. I think there's a problem with my hair. Let's fix it.
No, you're fine.
Open and close the door if it's hard, because house shift in general. So it's true, we have all the cracks and stuff, but open, closing door, walk and see if it's the same one side to the other one. They will give you a very good indication also with the foundation. If you don't necessarily, you're not sure if you're going to pull the trigger or not, but check that out.
Check the foundation.
And then also check for sign of bad maintenance from the owner. Yeah. Sometimes the AC looks new, but you have a lot of dirty stuff around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can tell the person is not really maintaining it, Yeah. You can tell. You see it, you're like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to buy this.
Exactly.
The person doesn't really act like he really care.
Yeah.
Especially if you're buying an investment property. Ask the question to the tenant. I always ask the tenant if the tenant stay in there. How you feel? How's the repair? Is the owner on top of the repair? Is it, when you have an issue, do you have any issue right now? What bothering you in the house? I ask this question, especially if it's an investment. Another thing is also check the windows.
Yeah, windows are big. Windows are big.
Windows are big, so you can tell if you open the windows and you see sign of condensation inside the windows. Just know it will need to be replaced.
Yeah.
And these cost between $600 to $800 per window.
Per window,
guys. Ugh.
Add up.
Yes, and if you have old window, for example, like if it's not a double pane or low E window stuff, what happened is on the older home, your electricity bill, my friend. Yes, I bought a home, my older home. Built in 1953. 1953. She went through a lot of hurricane and all that, but that house still standing, never flooded, no problem. But those windows needed to be replaced. We did replace them, but at first that electricity bill, my friend, Oh, in the middle of the summer, $400-500.
Man.
Yeah, if you cannot afford that, really pay attention. Window make a big deal.
No,
and it also help with the value of the home if you decide to change it. Another thing's also, if you have children, check if it's a really family-friendly neighborhood.
Area, yeah.
Some neighborhood, they're very nice to look, but there's no kids playing outside. So
no kids.
If you're hoping your babies to play outside and have friends and have fun like that, so check all the amenities around the house also. Is it more family-like or is it more youngster? I like to say youngster. Is youngster really an English word?
Youngster is definitely an English word.
Unless I hear it somewhere, I keep saying it all the time.
Definitely an English word.
So so check that. So if you're young and you like to party, put that in consideration.
Yeah.
With how you like to hang out outside and then if you really want to, if you want the party life or not. Yeah. I had some client in the past, they wanted to buy a nicer home and they're hesitated. Should we go and live in the suburb and have all that space and a beautiful home, or stay in the city, but all our friends are in the city, we work in the city. They're not sure and they finally end up buying in a suburb. But then within 2.5 years later, they move out and they come back to the city.
Man, yeah.
Because they realize, okay, well, everybody's in the city. Yeah. We have no kids. We're in a high tax area, and nobody's coming visit us. Yeah. So they sold the house and they moved back to the city and bought a. That's your situation.
That's my situation. But I love the suburbs, though. I love the suburbs.
Well, you have kids.
I have kids.
So what do you want to be in the city for?
Well, no, we came from the city. So all my friends, families, everybody's in the city. But everybody grumbles about coming to our house. So they're like, oh, you moved out there on purpose. And I'm like, no, the taxes were cheap. So, yeah.
Yeah, really pay attention to your lifestyle, what you really want for yourself, and if amenities are important or not. And when you're buying a property with a lot of amenities, be careful. Those HOA. Does it make it or break it when somebody's trying to buy a house?
No, most definitely. Depending upon what your DTI is and how close you are as far as the sale price of the home, those HOAs can catch up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can make it break a deal.
Yeah, and the more amenities you have in the neighborhood, the higher the HOA.
The more you pay for it, it looks nice, but it's not free.
And then see if you're really going to use it, because if you go to a neighborhood where you have the gym, the pool, the gazebo, the splash pad, the tennis, the volleyball. What else can we have in there?
Yeah, I went
to fake beach.
Yeah, the fake beach. That's where I went. Yeah.
The walking track, and you use none of them, but the HOA is like $1,200, $1,400 a year. What's the point?
Yeah, you get tired of it. You might have fun with it for the first year or two. And then after that, you've done it all, and it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, and some places, they only let you use it for maybe 4 months or 5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Like my old place, the HOA, we had the pool and all that, and then we can only start using the pool starting, I think, end of April, beginning of May, and they closed out around September, October.
Let's close the whole thing out.
Yeah, but we paying for the entire year. I was like, can I have a discount? For the time why am I paying the full year if if I can use the thing? So really pay attention to things like that.
Yeah.
Make sure you check all you wants. Sit down with yourself and your family, your spouse, and your kids. Also include them in the process.
Yeah.
And write out what you really want, and also write out what you really need.
Exactly. How close stores are to you, your closest bank, hospitals, just different things.
Yeah. And something people don't pay attention is storage space in a house.
That's a good one.
Storage. We don't realize it.
That's a good one.
Until you have a boatload of luggage you need to put somewhere. You don't know where to put them.
You don't know where to put it.
You have Christmas decoration. You don't know where to put them.
Yeah.
And now you have to go rent another storage space outside. And it costs you money. So buy a home. Make sure.
That's a good one.
If you're a hoarder, we say a hoarder. I say a hoarder.
Oh yeah, hoarder. Yeah, that's it.
If you're a hoarder like me.
You're a hoarder?
Yeah, I like to keep stuff. My husband hates stuff. I like to keep stuff. With me, if you give me a gift today, 10 years later, I will still have it.
Really?
Yes, because I value every gift that somebody give me.
That's good to know.
I was like, that really touched my heart. If you take the minute to buy me something, and then you take the time for me, you make me feel special. Oh, Lord, I'm going to keep you a gift.
So you still got that bottle of wine that I brought to your house?
I drank it.
What about the flowers?
The flowers, we had to let it go. But I kept it longer. I kept the flower long. Tell your mom I got this flower for a very, very long time. My husband was like, this is falling apart. When we're going to remove it? I said, I don't want to remove it. I like it.
You know, you could dry the flowers out. You can dry them out and just keep them, put them in a newspaper.
I had too much pressure. That man was putting too much pressure on me. I had to let it go. But I had it. You know when the flower, I returned it? I have to let it go. It was the middle of, the end of last month.
Oh, that's good.
That's good, though. Yeah. I just took out my Christmas tree, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
In France, we keep our Christmas tree way past Christmas.
Okay.
So I just like it. It's still Christmas spirit to me. So I keep it there.
You.
But I have this Christmas tree. That was the first Christmas my husband and I, we bought.
Oh.
Our first Christmas together.
Okay.
10 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all been having it ever since?
Yes. I'm not changing it.
Good.
The light on it start dying and stuff. I still keep it on.
Yeah.
But it still look good though.
No, I seen the tree when it came to the house.
But
It was nice.
Brennan bought all the light all around it.
Okay.
To give it light because it's like, Danielle, this is dead. Maybe we should. I'm like, no.
That's a big tree from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep everything. Jewelry.
Okay.
Gift, T-shirt, little things, postcard. For all my friends, I keep everything. So if you're a hoarder like me, storage space is very important.
Gotcha.
It's very, very important. You don't want to have to rent another space to put all of that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I believe we should consider is digital and electronic necessity.
Okay.
So if you move to an area, for example, we have tons of new construction around Houston. That's why I love this city so much because it's refreshing. We always have new stuff. Yeah, it's growing. Right? We don't buy stuff only they're 120 years old or 200 years old. We also have brand new stuff, right? Yeah. Plenty of Houston just keep expanding. I just love this city because we have plenty of new community in your home. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is sometimes the provider don't keep up with it. And then T-Mobile doesn't service the area. Well, you have to switch and go with AT&T because AT&T maybe can be the only one in that area. And by the time the other one catch up, you may have to wait a year. So if you know that you need your phone and nobody has a landline anymore, that could be a problem. Yeah. Really check this kind of stuff. Is do you some area you can only have the satellite because the other one didn't they can keep up yet because there's plenty of new community. And it's very important also as a buyer and as a seller, when you sell the home and you file the seller's disclosure, the last page, they ask you who are your provider. Yeah. You have to put who are your water, electricity, and so on, right? So if you are moving into a home and you know you work from home and you have a contract with one of those company, I'm not mentioning them. Maybe I can. I don't know. I don't want to be sued over here, right? Yeah. So if you have one of them and you know what you need and you realize maybe your job is compatible with one of them for whatever reason and you didn't pay attention to that or the seller didn't provide the information, as a buyer, it could be a really big problem for you. Yeah. How could you work from home if you cannot have the provider that you need? So anything that is digital, electronic necessity, really pay attention to it. People disregard it, but really pay attention. Okay. Really, really pay attention. That's good to know. So also check anything that is all the outlet. Check all the outlet. Make sure which type of wiring are behind the wall. Is it aluminum? Because sometimes insurance may charge you a little bit more money. And they ask you all this question. Is it new or old, whatever, especially if it's an older home? They will ask you for all this question. Just check the plumbing, check the outlet, the wiring inside the house. Yeah. Because if you buy a home and it's not updated with all the wiring, you may not be able, you'll be in the bathroom drying your hair and your husband decide to do the laundry on the other side and everything
cuts it off.
Yeah, and then you cannot do anything until one side is done. You know what I mean? Check the plumbing in a way with the water heater, right? You'll be taking a shower, all of a sudden, it's all cold. Well, it's Houston, it's always hot, but you can deal with cold water, but still, I like my hot and steamy shower. You know, this is kind of the things that you really have to pay attention, because if you buy it, you don't pay attention to it, it can cost you money. Or maybe if you enter on the contract, the appraiser comes around on the FHA, and he say, you can buy this house, or the seller needs to update. The roof look messed up.
Yeah. Then you're gonna run into some problems.
And they run to and you cannot buy the house, right? So usually as a realtor, we don't send you. Most lenders don't always ask, but we really don't send the inspection report to the lender. It's negotiate between buyer and seller what's going to be repaired and how we're going to take care of that. We don't send everything to the lender. But the appraiser is the one who's going to put those conditions in when you come and tour the house. If the appraiser come and say, hey, the roof looks messed up, it looks like it needs to be replaced,
you got to replace it.
And they can send the report to the lender. Conventional too, huh?
Conventional can happen that way as well.
Yeah, they can force the seller to replace the roof, right? Yeah. Or
the house has to be livable.
Yeah. And also what I learned about with the FHA, the house needs to be livable. Let's say, for example, I learned that if the house has an AC system, you have the big old AC outside, right? Extending. But the house, because the AC system is not working, but the owner installed Windows AC on the FHA, it won't work.
It won't work.
Yeah. It won't work. If the AC system is in a house, it's supposed to function, it needs to be able to function.
Central AC
needs to be able to function. So if you have a Windows AC, that's not going to work. So on the FHA, forget about it. Maybe conventional, you can pass, right?
Yeah, conventional can pass.
But not FHA.
Yeah.
The house needs to be fully livable. And then you can sell a buyer FHA without appliances, right? Like,
gotta have appliances.
But the stove and the...
exactly.
And the hood, right? The fridge is not mandatory, right?
Not at all.
Yes, the washer and dryer.
Water has to be running.
Yep.
Gas, if it has gas, has to be working.
Yep.
Because when the appraiser comes out, he's going to test those things to see if they're working. Yeah.
And then as a seller, they can force you to change or to repair all of that before closing, or the loan will not go through and the buyer will walk away.
Exactly.
If they let the buyer know before the deadline in a contract, of course.
Yeah.
So let's just try to make sure we're not buying a lemon.
Definitely don't want to buy a lemon.
Because ain't nobody got time to be making lemonade out of it. I learned that. So I was like, I got to say it today.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys learned a lot today, how to pick the right home for yourself and your family. Really, really take the time. Don't just rush into because the house looks nice and beautiful. Really take the time. When you walk in, check the neighborhood, check the schools, check the environment. When you walk, take a look, take a pose and look at the roof. But that's what I do when I walk home.
And make sure you're dealing with some professionals. You want a professional realtor like Danielle that's going to go out and have that extra care to put in as far as looking at those things with the buyer as well to help them make those decisions. Yeah,
and then also if you have doubt, for example, and you look at a home and you wonder, oh, I see the siding looks weird. Would I qualify for my VA loan, my FHA, my conventional, no matter what? And you're not entering the contract, just also give the lender a call. The lender are very helpful. Say, hey, I see this, it looks weird. Take the picture, send it to them and say, do you think this could work with this house? And they'll let you know.
We'll definitely let you know.
They'll let you know because you guys have guidance and rule and people where you can read from right away, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. If the lender say no, it's not the lender's fault.
It's not her fault.
All right, guys. So hopefully you learned a little bit more today about how to pick the right home. Make sure to contact us if you have any question regarding real estate or anything else. And then we're here to help you. Okay. And then make sure to follow us on all our social media, subscribe, and then we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.